Growth hack your brand and then destroy anything that moves.
You need to grind hustle your platform manifest.
It's all about entropy, elegance, and finance. Blockchain.
Invest in real estate every day.
Invest in meal estate every morning.
You need to mind hack the mind shackles that are grabbing your mind. Entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneur. Teach a man to fish and he'll eat for a day. Eat the man who just fished and you'll eat for a lifetime.
Spartans!
Business
Money Hacks. Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Business Money Hacks. I'm Bridge Stewart.
And I'm Dustin Taylor Hahn. And today we wanted to talk about sort of winding down as titans of industry. We spend a lot of time working, obviously. Bridge doesn't sleep at this point. Or he does sleep a lot. You kind of go off and on where you have this hibernating sleep regimen.
Yeah, I mean, sort of half of my life is spent awake, and half of my life is spent sort of in this vague state where it's sort of not quite reality, but not quite dream. And I find that helps me energize a little bit instead of having to fully sleep.
You've spent months where you hadn't slept, and then you would spend another month, and we can't even get in touch with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to get calls. What happened to Bridge? Where's Bridge? Why isn't Bridge at the office? We had a meeting with the pharmaceutical companies, and you just didn't show up.
I was hibernating. I was in deep hibernation.
And I texted your assistant, and he just texted me a picture of a bear. So I knew what that... Oh, I said, he's hibernating. Yeah.
Yeah, ever since I told my assistant to only reply to people with emojis, that's been sort of the go-to emoji for all my business associates is the emoji of the bear sleeping, because that's what I'm doing. I mean, I don't have a cave. It's more of a... It's more of a basement kind of situation where I've just laid out a mattress and I'm out.
Just laid a mattress out, put yourself in ice, wrap yourself up in a cocoon, and just chill, freeze.
Just freeze for about a month. Freeze out in my basement, my very sparse basement.
What sort of situations do you get into where you feel like you need to go into hibernation mode?
Look, hold on a sec. My watch is going off.
Oh, looks like it's about to start. Is that your alarm?
Yeah, it's my alarm. I need to set my alarm for when I go to my basement, when I need to ice myself. And let's just say I'm a little past due for a good icing, a strong 6-hour icing. But yeah, I mean, we all need to unwind. I mean, work, it's intense. My work schedule's intense. Dustin, I'm sure your work schedule has been intense.
It's a lot of screaming because the construction's just not done. It's not done. The house isn't perfect. It's not ready yet. As you may know, I'm making a globe, but underground is where the real magic happens. And these guys, they're not good diggers.
This is your house that you're describing. You're trying to create a anthill of some sort.
At this point, I wouldn't call it a house. I'd call it just my setup for the colony. And aside from my construction guys not doing their jobs, it's really the government that's been kind of giving me this red tape. They said, you can't touch this water lines, and
a lot of government regulations.
You get a lot of guys coming in saying you can't. There's people that live there. You're digging under their homes.
For the viewers out there, Dustin is building a house right next to my house, which is very much against. And you've done a lot of underground excavating, definitely under my property line. Like I've noticed, sort of my lawn is sort of dipping a little bit, and apparently there was some sort of cave-in that was involved in the...
Yes, there was a cave-in, but that's only because we're on, I guess, they had sent a guy, a geologist, and I guess we're on a fault line. So they said, don't do this. Seriously, don't do this. Please don't do this because you're on a fault line, and this could cause major, major problems for
it's a fault line, and it's also like old swamp land. Used to just be all mud. So trying to dig through mud, as I'm sure you're aware, is
not easy.
Very difficult.
However, the mud pools, there's always a silver lining there. You just dip in that mud pool. It's great for the skin.
The mud pools. I have yet to do that. You mean just tromping around in a swamp? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
My doctor insists that it's good for the skin.
Your doctor is ordering you to just sort of bathe in a
The
swamp.
problem is the mosquitoes, but other than that, it helps the healing process. As you know, I've been doing a lot of facial reconstruction.
Oh, yeah.
And, just to get back on the subject of winding down from a hard day's work, I need the mud pools. My bones hurt.
Your bones are from all of the reconstructive surgery on your face.
I almost feel like my head is like an earthquake, because it feels like it's just shaking. So
yeah, I mean, I'm
I need to
kind
wind
of
down.
blown away by like how they can make a face look like that, like without having to like literally take apart your skull in some way. Like it's pretty remarkable what science is capable of. I mean, they asked whether they could, and they should have been asking whether they should.
You have to constantly be improving. Every year you need the profits to go up. And for yourself, every year you need to improve on yourself and look better and look perfect to prove them wrong.
So you find that's how you unwind, is contributing more to altering your face.
But that has the side effect of my face always quakes.
So you're living on a quake line, and you have a quake face.
Which is why I need to bathe in that mud pool.
It soothes the bone quakes.
It soothes the bone quakes. It helps the skin. But then the mosquitoes come, and there's a lot of mosquitoes down there.
Oh, yeah.
So now I have a blood problem.
You have blood quakes.
The blood quakes are a problem. I'll be dealing with...
You'll be dealing with those for years. You don't just get rid of blood quakes.
I had to talk to my other doctor, and he said, don't deal with this other doctor. So now the doctors are arguing with each other about what I should do, and everything hurts. But it's all for the best. So back to business, Bridge. That's kind of personal how I wind down. How would you wind down? Or rather, what's the reasoning behind needing to wind down?
I mean, yeah, we've talked about this before. You should be working 100-hour weeks for 10-year stretches, just every day, nonstop grind, pounding the metal, just ripping apart the metal at the seams. But there are times when you need to take a step back and say to yourself, oh my God, what have I done? Like, you sort of get into those frenzy modes where you just work, blackout, work, blackout. And then it's more like blackout, work, blackout. And then that's when you sort of need to kind of step back and reassess, because you realize you don't remember anything you did over the past week, month stretch.
Anything you've accomplished, and you now you need to hire somebody to record everything that you do, so that you could, when you're not blacked out, you can watch what the hell you've been doing. Because even when you're awake, you're kind of in this
that
state.
Actually became a problem. That we had somebody.
Yeah.
I get intense with my employees.
Yeah.
I've
seen it.
Completely support spirited debate is what I've always said with my employees, and sometimes it gets very spirited. I'm not exactly proud of it, but I attacked an employee. He was a 50-year-old man, and we had a disagreement, and I just laid into him, just boom, boom, just fist after fist. I really beat the shit out of this guy. Uh-huh. And it was filmed. Like you said, like you recommended that I get somebody to film everything I do.
Yeah.
That went to trial. That became a huge thing. And I just realized I need a break. I need to unwind here, because I'm just beating within an inch of life my employees, and I'm not even remembering it. So
yeah,
that's when you need to take back and reassess, like, oh my God.
And that employee was a family member of yours too, wasn't it?
Yeah. He was my uncle.
You hired your uncle for, I guess, a contracting job.
I don't remember, to be perfectly honest. We, for the most part, had a great relationship before about a month ago when the heavy blackouts started. Mm-hmm. And I guess things went downhill in that month. And, he woke up in a hospital and I was covered in blood. Mm-hmm. It was a real moment where I just had to reassess. Hey, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm becoming a little too emotional because of these blackout sessions I'm having. So maybe I need to unwind.
So how do you unwind?
I've got a plot of land back east that I go out to. Just
back east.
Just bought a plot of land.
We're east. Or can you relay that information? I mean, I've been obviously looking. Our audience might be looking for places.
Oh, no, that's private. It's way back east. Very, very far east, in fact. Yeah.
Far east, I see.
Way back east. If you know what I mean. But I got acres out there. Land is cheap out there. Way back east. Land is cheap and life is full.
I'm picturing like a prairie or something. I don't really know what that means.
Prairie, large old woods. Old woods, I'm talking here. Old swamps. We got at least 5 square miles of swampland that I can just roam.
That's interesting because I like to diversify. You have to diversify your portfolio. So I own 5 square feet of land in every country.
Oh, wow.
So there's a little less than 200 countries on the planet, and I have 5 feet that I can stand on that I own.
Just to call your own.
Just to put a flag down.
So you have one in the Vatican?
I do. I'm not supposed to talk about it, but it's under the Vatican. I like to put it all underground, too.
So you have an underground plot of land in every single country in the world.
I like to plant my flag down there. Well, I bury it, I guess. Can't really plant a flag. It's underground, just sort of in the dirt.
But so you can go anywhere. You whenever you've got to go to some place for a business meeting in another foreign country, you've got your box.
I just stick my head in the box.
Just hang out, box living.
I like to stick my head in the ground like an ostrich, and I can kind of just take a nap.
That's how you unwind, is you fly to different countries, stick your head underground, and take a nap.
Yeah.
You know, on my plot of land back east, most of the time I'll just walk around alone, sort of take in everything, just roam by myself out in that open land. But occasionally I'll just like release some pigs, let them loose, see how they take to the land, those pigs. I'll hunt some pigs, some wild
boar.
I don't mess with the boar. The boar are too feral. It's too much of an animal. You know, it's like...
Oh, so you release farm pigs.
Yeah.
On the land.
And I hunt those. See, when you hunt a boar, you look into a boar's eyes, it's like a shark eye. It's just raw animal instinct. Whereas a pig's aware. A pig's aware of what you're doing. A pig knows that what you're doing is maybe wrong. And I like to see that expression right before I hunt the pig.
Like a king. But instead of a boar, you know, in the Middle Ages, it would be the king's land, and he would hunt boar. You're just hunting pig.
This is the businessman's land, and I'm just releasing pigs and shooting them.
What's your weapon of choice, if I may ask?
A high-powered sniper rifle, 50 caliber. There is not much left of that pig after I hunt one of them. It's more of just more like they just sort of liquefy after I shoot them. It's quite the hunt.
And you know, pig skin is the most like human skin out of all the animals.
Oh yeah,
even gorillas. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you want to do with that information, but there it is.
So have you gotten into pig stuff?
Oh yeah, I mean, this is old hat for me. I had been experimenting with pigs for decades. I was trying to make a skin suit of every animal, and I started with pig skin, and it worked. That felt real good.
So it was a suit made of pig skin.
Mm-hmm.
So it was almost like a second layer of skin.
And when I went out for my hunts, that's what I would wear, and it would be the only thing that I would wear, sort of like a shield.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you wear a pig skin while you hunt. So it's like, I mean, do you hunt pigs?
I started with hunting pigs, and then I would wear the skin of what I hunted, and then I would hunt something else after that. But the pig skin, it always felt right. So I hunted the pig, and then I would go for a little lizard skin. You know, I'd be hunting lizards, Komodo dragons, in my pig suit.
Okay, so you hunt the animal whose skin you're wearing. Komodo skin on Komodo, or do you do pig on Komodo?
Well, I do pig on Komodo, so I would hunt the pig, started off in my own skin, hunt the pig, wear the pig skin, which felt the best. It felt like it's a second layer. And then that's kind of like a shield because you want to wrestle the Komodo dragon. And then if you can do that, you wear the Komodo dragon over your pig skin, over your regular skin. And then you go from Komodo dragon
to dog.
You go from Komodo dragon right to dog. So you're hunting dog in your Komodo pig skin. and then you start wearing the dog skin, and well, you could see where this is going.
So you've got layer upon layer: pig skin, Komodo skin, dog skin, and that's when you can do buffalo.
Yeah, and then you can get onto buffalo, but there aren't any buffalo anymore.
Unfortunately, the tap has been cut off because we killed every single buffalo.
And also government regulation, that again. It's really hard to get certain animals.
The government regulating that we can't kill an extinct species. They're like, no, you can't. You're not allowed to. You can't physically do it. I always tell them, all you got to do is believe.
When there's a will, there's a way, I suppose.
I'll will another buffalo into existence just to kill it and take its skin.
I mean, that's why we've been, experimenting with genetics. Gregor Mendel, he was messing with fruit flies, and, the founder of genetics, it was because he wanted to sort of make this fly skin suit.
Now that sounds like a great suit. That would take a lot of flies.
It would be a lot of flies.
That'd probably be at least like 1 million flies to cover up your body. It just all these flies stitched together that you turn into an elegant suit that you can show up at a gala,
at a science conference, and say, "Hey, look, I'm Gregor Mendel. I invented genetics, so I can make this."
Who are you wearing? Gucci, Dior? No, fly. 1 million flies is who I'm wearing, stitched together.
Fly man.
Ladybug skin suit. That I would like that. That would be hard. You wouldn't be able to pierce that.
They're hard to crush.
Mantis skin.
Oh, the old praying mantis. So we're talking about skin again.
And so, this is how we unwind, is talk about skin.
Some other ways that I like to unwind, aside from the hunt, the thrill of the hunt. Sometimes you just want to do it the old-fashioned way, Put your feet up, lie down on your Gucci chaise lounge, turn on some classic music, some Chopin, some Vivaldi, pour a glass of 1895 Chateau Lafon. Open up a nice book. Love the smell of a new book.
Oh, just take the
smell of a new book.
The stench of a new book. There's nothing more relaxing than when I go to a library, take the book, and just shove my face into that book and just inhale for a solid 20 seconds.
The librarians, they don't appreciate that. They leave the smell for the rest of us.
It's in danger.
You could smell, an old book, you could sniff too hard and ruin the pages, I guess.
Yeah.
You don't want you to
get
do that.
Too much of its essence. Take too much of its essence. But that's what I want. I want to take the essence of these books.
And you don't need to read the book. You just smell the information from it.
Oh, I just inhale. I just smell. I don't need to read. I tell people I read about 5 books a day. What I mean by that is I grab a book and just snort the innards of the book. But I think you're right. I mean, just sometimes you just need to curl up with a little bit of wine and a good book to smell.
A good book to smell.
A couple pigs roaming the room.
Let the pigs roam sometimes.
Let them squeal. The sweet sound of pigs squealing in the background.
Heavy unwinding, and then a heavy dose of hydromorphine.
And then just quick video snippets of just ultra violence. Just to sort of spice it up a little bit. And then go back to just being in that room.
So when I'm texting you saying, Bridge, where are you? You're 15 minutes late. We have a meeting. Where the hell is Bridge? That's what you're doing.
Working the tech industry is hard. You can get PTSD from those screens, from those algorithms.
Yeah.
So in order to sort of avoid the night terrors that you're very aware of this. Look, I'm not going to claim to have night terrors. I mean, I do, but you're on a whole different level.
No, I got some bad ones, and that's why I'm hesitant to do what you do, which is sleep for too long. Because if I sleep for too long with my night terrors, they turn into night storms.
Oh yeah, you can go into a coma with night terrors.
But I also sleepwalk, so I have night terrors and I sleepwalk. I've come into your room before and just sort of been zombified, and I start screaming at you, but I don't even remember anything.
Yeah, you definitely need to unwind to avoid that sort of a circumstance. I mean, I black out, but that's a whole different level. What you're talking about.
I'll start attacking close family members. And I mean, that's why I came up with the idea of hiring somebody to record everything that I do, because, the things that I've done.
the horrors that you've been a part of. I mean, it's interesting because it seems like, you said you'll even attack family members. It seems like you mostly attack family members, or just only attack family members when you're in these states, these catatonic dream states.
I'll be sleeping, and then apparently, you've heard the recordings. My bones hurt. Oh, my bone. I'll scream my bones. My bones.
Oh yeah, it's pretty terrifying. You hear that echoing down the halls. Just this, my bones, my bones, my bones. And you're holding a lantern, roaming through the halls. My bones, help me, my bones, Father. Father, look at my bones.
What that is?
Father, do you love me now? Look at my bones.
My bones.
That's something I did not like waking up to. Where are my bones? Where are my bones? Give me my face bone, please. I beg of you, Father.
My father's bones.
Father, I need your bones. Mine are gone. Hearing that in the middle of the night is not something you want to hear.
And aside from I have been looking for my father's bones. That's like kind of a lifelong goal. So maybe that's translating.
Yeah, I mean, if you make an autobiography, it should be called Bones and Skin: The Dustin Hahn Story. A life of bones and skin.
A life of bones and skin and blood.
My father's bones and skin.
So yeah, that's kind of how you gotta find your ways, I suppose, because life is hard, even for titans of industry as ourselves.
Oh yeah, it's a nightmare. This life is a nightmare, and you have got to find ways to just sort of turn that nightmare into a dream occasionally. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that involves just letting the pigs loose, if you know what I mean.
Letting the literal pigs loose.
Or, doesn't need to be literal either. Let the pigs loose is what I say. In general, about most circumstances. When people ask my opinion on the business things, I'll just say, come on, Brad, just let the pigs loose. It's like, wait, should we go through with this IPO? I don't know. I'm not sure if we should be doing this. It's like, look, let the pigs loose. And generally, people know what I mean.
So you also have a setup. It's very popular in Silicon Valley right now. These startups, Google as well. Ping pong tables and recreational areas, little pitch and putt, have people wind down in the middle of the workday. Do you do that as well?
I force people to do it. I say, get in there, start playing ping pong while I watch. Let me watch you play ping pong. And they'll be like, well, it's crunch time. We've got to get this app released now.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. Go and play ping pong. I'm going to enjoy this.
The idea being, make them play ping pong. You're watching, and then they're sweating about getting back to the office.
Yeah, it's, they're sweating because they have to get back to their work, but they're also sweating because I've turned up the temperature to about 105.
Oh, you like to keep it hot in there?
Oh, yeah.
In the rec room.
Yeah, in the rec room. I like to watch them sweat.
So they have a lunch, they eat a big meal, and then they just sit in the hot, sweaty rec room.
Just a big pork meal. Fresh pork that I've hunted from my plot of land back east. I bring the pork back. Mm-hmm. I'll get my employees to eat pork and play ping pong and sweat while I watch.
This is what they do out there at Bridges Company.
Just pork and ping pong. You do that too, though, right? You have the ping pong setups at your offices?
Well, we've set something up outside. The construction guys, they like to play, but they're on heavy doses of hydromorphine themselves, so it's not a lot of ping pong going on. It's just kind of them lying on the table, kind of sweating in the sun, and that's where the mosquitoes get to them. Tried to get a little pep in their step, but they're like zombies out there.
Yeah, it looks like some sort of apocalyptic scenario whenever I look out my window at your construction. I see people sweating. I see people passed out. I see people just sort of walking around just muttering in gibberish. It's
in a daze, yeah.
It's really a nightmare.
And I'm inside the globe looking out of the window, just kind of glaring. glaring at them, disappointed in their work schedule. I mean, maybe the hydromorphine. I'm trying to relax these guys. I mean, they seem real stressed, but also very relaxed at the same time. So it's like a weird anxiety going on out there.
Have you thought about giving him more hydromorphine?
I have, and I have. If you picture the Civil War, like the end of a battle,
Yeah.
because you have the nurses coming out and picking up the remains. That's what it looks like on my lawn.
And then you give the nurses hydromorphine, and it becomes a bit of a situation of the snake eating its own tail, and that it's this cycle of hydromorphine that sort of causes a cascade event to a degree.
Honestly, Matt Dugan, one other episode, he's a doctor. Matt Dugan has been providing me with this morphine, and he said eventually it's going to help. Everyone's going to get back to work. You got to trust your doctors.
From what I understand, Matt Dugan's in a bit of a hibernation.
He has been recently hard to get in touch with.
I think he's in a deep hibernation, kind of a coma kind of thing that he's in.
Yeah.
I guess his brain stopped working.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, what's Matt Dugan up to? And like my friend was like, oh, yeah, he's sort of taking a break. His brain stopped working, stopped like being active. And so now like he's in a bed asleep.
I'm sure he knows what he's doing.
I guess that's how he unwinds, is turning his brain on.
I mean, that's one way of doing it. I mean, our brains are like a computer. You could shut down and
just
then
have
restart.
a quick, easy reboot.
Fry the system, reboot.
Just light the system on fire and let it reboot.
Hard reboot.
Hard fire reboot.
And hopefully it'll turn back on.
So, do you find that your relaxation, like just going to these different plots of land across the world, do you find that relaxes you?
I find that in theory it relaxes me, but, you know, traveling is very stressful. I try to fly to these different plots of land so I can stick my head down there. And it's just a lot of traveling. It ends up being more trouble than it's worth. People are really, really freaking out at the airports.
But you're still going.
My pilot will say, Dustin, it really isn't safe to be flying right now. Even on the private jets. I mean, please, I just want to stay home. I want to stay with my family. I want to quarantine. And I'll say, no.
We're going to Pakistan for my block of land, for my 5 foot by 5 foot block of land.
These pilots are getting a little restless.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you've been keeping a pretty big itinerary lately. I mean, it seems like you're flying every other day.
Italy, Russia, Chile.
Chile. Oh, God, Chile. You couldn't pay me to go back to Chile.
No, you don't. You're not a fan.
I don't like it. It's too chilly.
I'm a big fan of Chile because, you know, they took the entire beachfront.
They really did.
Like the entire west side of Chile.
Move.
They're like, yeah, that's a boss move.
I wish I could do that with California.
Just own the entire beachfront, the west side of California.
California, you can have the rest of it. Have the rest of it. I don't care. Go ahead, take it.
Yeah.
All I want is the beachfront.
Please, just give me the sliver.
Yeah, let California have all that other stuff. I mean, you know, there's so much land out there. All I want is a little bit of land on all of the beachfront.
That's not too much to ask.
It wasn't too much to ask for Chile.
Yeah, I wonder how they got away with that.
But you've been going to Chile a lot.
Going to Chile, hanging out in my little hole.
Your Chile hole.
Hanging out in the old chili hole, sticking my head in. My pilot's right behind me, just like looking at his watch, saying, I want to get back.
I want to get home.
Sir,
I want to see
Mr.
my
Hahn,
kids.
I want to get home. I want to see my kids. It's Christmas. Please, it's Christmas time. And I say, no. Leave the gifts in the plane. You can't.
Bah humbug. Bah humbug. Now get in my chili hole. You're going to sit with me in my chili hole.
Mr. Hahn.
Please, Mr. Hahn, but it's Christmas. No. Get in my chili hole right now. I want to watch you get in.
Dig your feet in the chili hole and put your head down there like an ostrich.
Like an ostrich. Now call your kids. I want to watch you. Call your kids and say you're not going to make Christmas this year because you're in a chili hole. I want to see you do that.
And then maybe if he's good, I'll relinquish him.
Yeah, maybe you'll have New Year's off. Maybe you'll have St. Patrick's Day off this year if you're lucky.
And I've also been teaching myself how to fly myself.
That doesn't sound like a good idea.
Well, it's not a good idea. One, my bones still hurt. So trying to fly a plane when your bones are aching, when you got those blood quakes.
It sounds dangerous.
It's a little dangerous, but it's the thrill.
It's the thrill of flying a humongous plane 30,000 feet up while your blood is literally exploding inside of you.
The pilot has to sit back there, clutching his daughter's gift that he wrapped himself.
Please let me get home to my daughter, just to give her this one last present. And then you make him call his daughter while you're flying the plane. I want to watch you call your daughter while I fly this plane dangerously through an urban area.
This is your captain speaking. Yeah, you're not going to see your kid today.
This is your captain speaking. You're not going to go home to Christmas this year with your kids.
That's something you don't want to hear on a plane.
This is your captain speaking. My bones hurt.
This is your captain speaking. My bones hurt. I don't think we're going to make it this year.
This is your captain speaking. Help! Help! I have blood quakes.
This is your captain speaking. My bones. My father's.
This is your captain speaking. My bones. Help, my bones. This is your captain speaking. Help.
Or don't even say this is your captain speaking. Just turn on the intercom.
God, if I had to count the number of times I've been on a jet when the captain came through the intercom screaming about his bones.
My bones.
My bones. My bones.
Just imagine being on a plane and you caught a red eye and you got your in-flight meal and then you hear my bones.
My bones, Father. My bones. Father, look at my bones.
Father, look at me. Why won't you look at me?
Why won't you look at my bones, my beautiful bones?
So yeah, I mean that's kind of how we wind down. That's you have to wind down. I think it's about time we sort of wind down this episode.
Yeah, well, thank you for tuning in. I hope this helps you unwind and gives you some sort of fun ideas and how you can kind of relax.
Thanks so much. This has been Business Money Hacks. I'm Dustin Taylor Hahn.
And I'm Bridge Stewart. Make sure to subscribe.